So we're going to talk about the rail and the boxes and how we're pinning those. So we'll start by talking about the rail. You can see the rail's been placed in, and we got to remind ourselves we got to follow proper rail spacing. So we want to utilize the 27 inches and double check and make sure we have 27 inches from top to top of mid, and then top of mid to top of bottom, 27 inches. Now we're going to go into the process of pinning our nails. Now this is after we do our ups and downs and we use our screws. We're going to make sure that before we pin, we create a space between the front and the back of our box. So the picket cannot be touching the post, and we cannot have that steel post come out to the front edge of our box. We need to create a pivot point, and then we will go ahead and put in our center pin. And so what that does is it does create a center pivot point for us, so we can pull the top one way or the other and move the bottom one way or the other. So that is the purpose of that. Now we're not going to do that until we have our heights established all the way down through, and that's when we use those T25 screws to adjust our heights. We'll go over that a little bit later in the video. And after we put our center pin in, we'll go down to and do our ins and outs. So we'll have a sight person and then another person going down with the pin nailer, and we're going to move our fence in or out to make sure that we maintain a nice straight appearance. So once we do that, as he goes, he's going to be putting in a top pin. So this is our top pin to kind of lock in our ins and outs all the way down through. Once he's done, everything is done with the top pin, then he'll go back through and put in the remaining pins. Now we're going to shoot for 6 pins, 3 on either side of the box, 1 in the top, 1 in the middle, 1 along the bottom. And now this is done after heights. So we're going to establish our heights by our screws. These are our T25 screws. We're going to put those in place to create some tension between the box and the steel, and that way we can lift or lower our box according to what we need for our heights. So this is a very important process to use our sight line and adjust our heights as we go down through and before we start to pin. After we do this, then we start the pinning process. It's very important we follow this process because those pins are very difficult to get out.